Hello race fans, Peter Mackay here, welcoming you to the Apex Racing Academy F3 VRS Super Series live from Mount Panorama at Bathurst, one of my favourite circuits anywhere in the world. Joining me in the commentary box today is Jack Canan, and bringing you these beautiful images of Mount Panorama and these very fancy graphics is Marco Barbonera in Rome. Jack, we've been treated to, well, what has been a thrilling season so far. What are your expectations today here at Bathurst?
Absolute craziness, as per the normal Bathurst way. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Championship is really close. We have 4 points separating the guys at the top, and it's going to be a very interesting one. I've just noticed, Peter, as well, a very interesting little thing. Track temperature 51 degrees Celsius. That's a very hot for Bathurst, which basically means it's going to be like ice out there, especially around the track like this one. We're currently just in the middle of qualifying as well, and I can tell you as well that our new championship leader, it was Raul Hyman going into the previous round. It's now one Alex Alcaraz, who coincidentally
I think we may have just lost Jack Canane there, folks, so we will be right back with you with him. So, as you say, Alex Alcaraz laying down the law here in qualifying, 159.502, his quickest, which is very impressive given, as Jack alluded to, the very, very high track temperatures today here at Bathurst. 51 centigrade, that's enormous track temperature, and what effect that will have, that will just make the track so greasy and slippy, like there's olive oil on the circuit. And these little hand-cooked tyres, they're not used to dealing with these kinds of temperatures. So it's going to be a real thriller out there today. You see Karl Modov, he is in second position right now. Karl Mechanic Modov, who works for the Audi Roadshagger team in the Michelin Pilot Challenge over in the United States, with his countryman David Holland just half a second off the pace in third, with Raul Hyman 0.7 of a second off the pace. Not what we're used to seeing for Raul, but that will give him a front row start for his heat race. Today here at Bathurst, we have 2 heat races with 12 drivers progressing to the feature race from each. And then for those not so lucky to get the first ticket to the ball, they must go through the short 10-minute consolation race, which is always frantic. And only 6 drivers will progress from that race, making up a 30-driver feature. And here at Bathurst, well, brilliant opportunity to overtake up into Quarry Bend, which we're heading up to just now, and down into the chase. However, huge amount of patience required through this section here. They come through Quarry Bend, then up onto the mountain. Not many overtaking opportunities, in fact, virtually none. So you have to just go follow in line astern, or in a line, I should say. And that is very, very important going up here as we head up towards Salmon Park and into McPhillamy Park. These two really, really fast left-handers completely flat out in one of these F3 machines, round towards Skyline, thus because you can see basically as far as the eye can see over the edge of the cliff here, and then whoosh, down the dipper we go. Yeah, the bottom of your stomach drops out there, and then down towards Forest Elbow. This is a critical corner, getting the exit, getting on the power. Oh, a little bit of fighting the understeer there for David Holland. Very tricky indeed. Now, do we have a Jack Canan?
I hope so.
Yes.
Good. I don't know what happened there. I think I just faded out of existence. But anyway, we're back in full swing right now. As you can see at the top of the screen, by the way, you have a distinction between the Pro class in green and the Am class in red, and separate champions for those as well. And keep in mind, they have access to the Apex Racing Academy setup packs as well. They're not obliged to use them, but they do have access. This is a series supported by Apex Racing Academy. But it is an interesting one to note. Look how close the top three are, less than a tenth of a second. And Raoul Hyman is nearly half a second off the pace, Peter.
Yeah, that's far from ideal, isn't it? For Raoul Hyman, it's very close at the top of the championship. Alicia Alcaraz 30 points ahead of Raoul Hyman by virtue of his 2 race wins over the last 2 races when Hyman has hit problems. Vitolo Garcia in third right now with Christophe Herbignon fourth. So this is this is the round 4 of the season with 2 rounds left to go after this one. So I feel this is going to be a pivotal round in the championship battle, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there is the amateur class standings. Victor Anderson is quite a ways in front of Keys Drost, who is P2, and Brett Pancari, P3, just a point ahead of John Gordon, who's in turn only 2 points ahead of Sammy Venables. That's a very close midfield battle you got going on. But Victor Anderson is in a very comfortable spot in the moment. Now, those standings that you see there don't take into account the drop round, and when you include the drop round, the gap for Aleix Alcaraz at the top goes from 30 points to 4 points. So it's even closer than it seems on the championship standings there, because there is a drop round. You drop your worst score, and it makes it even more close to the top. But it still puts Aleix Alcaraz at the top, on board with Christophe Herbignon. Look at the understeer down there. He's going to lose the car, and we're going to see lots of that today, especially on lap number 1. I think we're going to be kind of wincing as the drivers go through there for the first time.
Yeah, we really are. It's real. We're going to say the word patience a lot tonight, and that is what is going to be the key to success here at Mount Panorama for sure.
Absolutely, you could see. I think we can obviously take into account that the track temperature is making this an even more of a task. There's just absolutely zero grip out there at the moment. But as per usual, 2 heat races, 12 progress to the feature in each, and then the consolation race. And here is your grid for heat race number 1.
So in pole position then is Aleix Alcaraz with Karl Modov alongside. Francesco Fioroni will start on the beginning of row 2 with Christophe Herbignon in 4th. Victor Anderson starts 5th in the AM class. Lockie Brown. Goodness me, I've just been racing against Lockie Brown. Oh my goodness. Oh dear, unlucky. Mark Jones in 7th with Vincenzo Carcati.
All right, rub it
in 8th. Kevin Kittelman in 9th and Brett Pancari 10th. Alok Iyengar in 11th with Derek Holland in 12th. That man has stamina. 13th, Toby Ward. 14th will be Damien McMillan with Richard Holding 15th. Sammy Venables 16th. Dan Shuring in 17th. And Tony Seppola will begin from 18th on the grid. That man, I want some of his, whatever he has for breakfast, because he has just done a 6-hour race on his own, and he's here for some F3 action. That is extraordinary. What time must it be in Australia right now as well?
Probably stupid o'clock in the morning, I'd imagine. But I guess since he's Australian, he can't miss Bathurst, can you?
True.
So, yeah, fair play to Lockie Brown. I know he didn't have the best 6-hour endurance race, so to speak, but yeah, fair play to be out on the grid for this one. And for those of you who are wondering, Peter just won that particular endurance race. I know he's too humble to mention it, but he did win it. So fair play, Peter. Well done.
Well, no, Mike Epps won it. I just looked after the car for an hour.
You did a stint. It counts.
It was very much a pro-am effort. I got my minimum drive time in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but, I think I did three tanks of fuel, which is about 2 hours. So I was quite happy with that. Anyway, we've got quite a lot of missing drivers on the start grid. But anyway, the lights are up, and we are off here at Mount Panorama. Karl Modov, a non-starter, and Aleix Alcaraz gets through hill corner cleanly. Fioroni and Herbignon battling it out behind, but some very high-profile non-starters so far, Jack.
Yes, some of those had qualifying bans and had to start from the pit lane. So those Karl Model, Venables, and Settle had to start from the pit lane. There was lots of penalties coming into this one. Couldn't remember which ones were which, but we know now for the future. As Christophe Herbignon already started trying to fight with Francesco Fioroni as they come up the hill for the very first time. Keep it sensible, boys. On lap number 1, there's plenty of opportunities for overtaking. But Victor Anderson in their Lucky Brown P5 and Jones P6. A big contingent of Pro-Am in this first heat race. So Aleix Alcaraz needs to get himself a clean race because a win in this one puts him on pole for the feature.
Yeah, Lucky Brown there in 5th, arguably one of the fastest men ever to drive a Porsche LMP1 car, it's been told. As we see, we're riding on. Oh, goodness me, the camera just stuck away there. We got our first victim in the wall. Now, who is this? Number 230. That is Alex Iyengar has hit the wall, but our leaders are through cleanly. Aleix Alcaraz clean up.
Fioroni.
Wall.
Fioroni tapped the wall at the end of Forest Elbow. That's going to let Christophe Herbignon the slipstream past on the outside line. Watch out for Victor Anderson as well. Lucky Brown just hanging in the slipstream as well. But Alcaraz is away and gone. You can see him just as they head towards the chase for the first time. No way through for Herbignon. Look at Fioroni trying to break the draft. Lucky Brown trying to get through on the inside. But look at Victor Anderson up the inside of Christophe Herbignon to take P3 away from the Belgian driver. Oh, and Lucky Brown almost got away with that one there, and he spins into the wall, and Lucky Brown, his day goes from bad to worse. He's now in the wall on the exit of the chase, and he's trying to get himself back in the field, but not a good day for him. But the fit is Christophe Herbignon fights off the attack, and he hangs on to P3 for now.
Yep, absolutely. This is an interesting one. I think obviously the rate of attrition is going to be very high here at Bathurst, but I think with the use of the fast repair is definitely going to play into the reckoning today, because there's going to be problems for lots of drivers, and it is never going to be over until it is absolutely over. So we could see a lot of high-profile drivers having incidents, getting a tow back to pit lane, taking their fast repair, and then still manage to salvage some sort of result. So today's going to be a day about tenacity more than anything else. But this is, I mean, Jack, this is such a difficult challenge to drive any open-wheel racing car around Bathurst. But to do so with such a high track temperature, even for here in New South Wales, it is such a challenge for the drivers.
Yeah, you can see right there, 48 degrees Celsius track temperature, and even so, that's incredibly hot, even for here. Yeah, as you said, but it's basically like driving on ice at the moment for these guys. So they're just trying to bring it through to the end. But Aleix Alcaraz 2 seconds clear at the moment. This is Kittelman with Vincenzo Carcati just up ahead of him right now. So the Pro-Am guys are really taking it to the pro guys in this first heat race. Victor Anderson and Jones in P4 and 5 at the moment. But here comes Kittelman in the slipstream. He's not quite close enough to do that right now. Top 12, as we always mention, is the cut-off point. So Richard Holding currently in that final ticket through to the feature race. The rest have to go through to the Consolation race at the moment. But after that incident, as you can see now, this David Holland making his way, or Derek Holland, sorry, Derek Holland making his way through on Brett Punkari in the Jordan Peugeot liveried car. But Richard Holding now trying desperately to hang on to P12 because he's got Daniel Schuring right up behind him.
Yep, here comes Daniel. He's going to have a look up in that, well, although a Dutchman, he's got a very Irish-themed paint scheme there, hasn't he, with the green colours on it. It's very, very stylish indeed. He's trying to hunt down, that is the number 20. Now, Karl Modov, he's started from pit lane, but he's already into 10th position, so he will certainly be happy with that. Now, what's happened to Punkari? Has he had a slowdown?
Or he just let Karl Modov through, but I imagine it's probably a slowdown. But either way, good progress for Karl Modov up to P9 and continuing to climb up through the field. As look at this is Sammy Venables now trying to get past Richard Holding, and he has got in front of him. So Richard Holding falling back. He's now under the clutches of Damien McMullen, who's the next car to try and get past here. He's not quite close enough to do that. And there goes Karl Modov. Oh, that's a brave place to do it. Up the hill, he's now in front of Derek Holland and making fantastic progress for the pro driver who, again, as you mentioned, started from the pit lane. It seems that actually starting from the pit lane isn't even a bad idea, because you can see how many accidents might happen on lap 1.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. If there's going to be any track where it might actually not be such a, well, certainly not a big disadvantage, it's going to be this one here at Bathurst. And of course, I mean, who can forget, 7 days ago at Interlagos, Karl Modov put on one of the drives of the season for me, from 25th on the grid to 4th in the feature race. That was just amazing stuff. So he's a man who's used to charging from the back of the pack when necessary, and almost seems to be when he's most comfortable.
Yeah, it seems to be where he's in his element, and making overtakes left, right, and centre. As here we go now, Daniel Schuring on Toby Ward. Sammy Venables trying to get up the inside as well through the chase. They're going to be neck and neck as they make it down to the braking zone for the chicane. And Toby Ward trying to hang on to the final feature race spot, but he is going to lose it to Sammy Venables. And through goes Venables into that final progression spot for the feature race. But Alex Alcaraz is flying out front. He's nearly a second faster than Francesco Fioroni behind him. He just had another fastest lap of the race. The only other man who's in the, that's Alec Guyengar in the wall again. Trying to see where that is. Not quite sure where that is, but he's been into the wall for a second time. Not a good day for
Forest elbow, I think. Oh, it looked like he just lost it on the brakes there, Jack.
Drops it.
Yeah, I think that is just pure, absolutely excessive track temperature, and there's just no grip when you expected there to be some.
Yeah, just went on the brakes, locked it up. Now looking for Christophe Herbigno, who's trying everything to get past Francesco Fioroni here, but he's not going to be able to do it into the dipper. Very tricky section to follow, a little bit wide from Fioroni. Herbigno with a slight cutback line now as they head down towards Forest Elbow. He'll have a good run down towards the chase now. But he's got to be patient here. This is a very tricky corner, especially these cars now. Perfect slipstream opportunity now for Christophe Herbigno, the Belgian bullet as we call him in this series. He's got a good run. There is the speedometer. As you can see, the speeds they will reach as they come towards the chase. But is he close enough? I don't think he actually is. A very similar straight line speed here as they come into the chase for the 4th time. And Herbigno being very patient. Doesn't want to sit in that dirty air for too long. Fioroni goes wide now. Here comes Herbigno. He's going to try and find some space on the outside as they head down towards Murray's for the 4th time of asking. Outside line for Herbigno. And does he get it done on the brakes? Yes, he does. And Fioroni backs out of it and just kind of lets him through there.
Of course, don't forget that Fioroni had a pretty big hit with the wall early on in the race, so that's bound to be holding him back somewhat, but it didn't seem to in a straight line there, did it, Jack? I would say that Fioroni's got his car properly trimmed out with a slightly lower downforce setting than Herbigno, because Herbigno was not making an impression on him in the draft, but he would have been using that to his advantage. Of course, all of the drivers in this series have access to the Apex Racing Academy setup, but they don't necessarily have to use it. You might get some drivers use it as a baseline and then start to tweak, but look at this. Kittelman having to give best to Karl Modov for 7th position there. So good move there, well set up from Karl Modov. But what's going on here? Are we going to see Fioroni? Well, be careful. Be careful. Oh, that was, I swear, Jack, that wall has magnets in it.
Yeah, definitely. If you get even just a slight bit wrong, you can see that. And even you see Fioroni's made a mistake from McPhillamys. He went into the grass a little bit and evens out. But yeah, that would have been just hold on and hold your breath for Christophe Herbigno. Just turn the wheel right and hope to God it grips. And he managed to keep it out of the wall now. Now we'll probably see what you mentioned, Peter, right here with Fioroni running just a little bit less wing on the front of the car. Because Herbigno really closes up in that top of the hill where you really need a bit more wing to get you through. But Fioroni, even with slipstream, Herbigno is not able really to close up to alongside him. You can even see he's on the limit already, and Fioroni is maintaining the gap down the straight, which is so crucial. But now here, does he get it stopped in here? He goes wide again. It happened before on the previous lap, and Herbigno has a run now down towards Murray's. But will that extra wing just keep him in front for a little bit longer? Herbigno, is he going to try and think? No, he doesn't. So difference in setups playing out right here. Herbigno's got it set up for the corners, but Fioroni definitely has it set up for the straight line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really fascinating to see what will be the quickest. Just look at that mid-corner, Christophe Herbignon, but he just, as soon as they get up into sort of fourth gear, into fifth, that's when Herbignon kind of hits this effectively black, he hits this kind of invisible barrier of speed, and Fioroni's car just that little bit quicker, just a little bit lower downforce. But here now, coming into Herbignon's hill now, which is very, very helpful, having all that aerodynamic now, because but it's all very well having that speed and aerodynamics, but there's not really anywhere to pass. He's not anywhere to use it if you're stuck behind somebody, Jack. It's such a trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we know Fioroni's made that trade-off. Speaking of another trade-off, Karl Modov has just got past Vincenzo Carcati for that spot. Did he make the move up into into Herbignon's hill, as we called it? Did he throw one up the inside here, Karl Modov? He certainly did. Oh, it was a little mistake from Carcati actually at the same time, so that helped him out. But either way, he was committed to the inside line. I'll give him that. So wow, good stuff from him. And down into Forest Elbow again. Fioroni hanging on for dear life here. Kittelman has had an off down the hill. That's at the Dipper, isn't it? He's just come down into the Dipper, and Kittelman has had a big off down there. And does he get it back going? He's trying everything to get the car back going again, Kevin Kittelman here, but he's in a terrible spot. Try and restart the car, and he does get going eventually. But yeah, he's Austin Powers at the top of the hill, but he does get back going again with very little damage. And again, Fioroni's still in front of Herbignon.
Yep, and Fioroni doing exactly what he needs to do, and shuts the door hard in Christophe Herbignon's face there. And well, I wonder, could we call, after that move from Karl Modov, we could call it Herbignon Hill, or we could call it Modov's Mountain, possibly, because that was a big old move there into Quarry Bend. But you just get a really good impression here. You know, normally if these cars were equally set up, Herbignon would be getting a big old draft effect. Now he's getting it a bit, but nowhere near what you would expect. But Fioroni's just able to hold him off. But then Herbignon will be better on the brakes with all that aero. Tries to go out. See, there's just no grip there, Jack. You cannot hang on there.
No, and so the camber helps out Fioroni as well, because it's cambered to the inside. So if you go to the inside, little tap on the wall from Fioroni. They're very tight, just a slight tap from it. But he's it's obviously the wing. He's just washing out in the corners. But even so, again he's wide up the hill. But there's nowhere for Herbignon to go. Down in towards McPhillamy Park. Next time by, he's on his tail as they come towards McPhillamy. But there's no space to pass, and he's going to have to do something brave here to try and get past Fioroni. Now into the Dipper, trying to go to the outside. He's trying everything. He's going left, right, trying to find space. But there's absolutely nowhere for him to go. But this is brilliant onboard action as we try to. This is exactly what he's seeing as well. Just trying to find any space that he possibly can to get past that Italian, but there's nowhere to do it.
Absolutely, and this is a fantastic view. Thanks to our producer Marco Barbanera in Rome. Brilliant stuff, because Herbignon there going through the really fast left-handers of Solomon Park and McPhillamy Park. You could hear him. I think he was maybe on 75% throttle, and you can go through there at 95 or 100. So it just shows you where these two cars are better. But Fioroni, I think, has maybe just about got the setup right. Herbignon's probably got a bit of a qualifying setup on, perhaps, you might argue. But let's see. We'll take the white flag now. So this will be the last lap of this heat. Both of them, of course, well into the feature race now. So you wonder if Herbignon is really going to force the issue here that much.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here as we're on the final lap now. Again, he's going to close up here, but as soon as he pulled out of that slipstream, he's going to hit that wall of air, and he's not able to pull alongside. Look at that. He's just not gaining any time as soon as he pulls out of that slipstream. There's nowhere to go. Now, he's going to go late on the brakes, so he tried to think about it, but there's nowhere to go. He's going to graze the wall on the exit there. This is brilliant stuff to watch. I'll give him that, but he's not going to really be able to do it. I think it's going to be Fioroni's day. There is Kevin Kittelman. He's in the final P12 slot, so he's going to hang on to that for now. But a man we haven't talked about at all, because these guys have been fighting so much, is Alex Alcaraz. He's 8.3 seconds up the road, and he's been lapping a second faster than them the whole way through this race. So Alex Alcaraz, absolutely dominant display. There he is, and He's been, look at that, 59.4, 59.2, 59.7, 59.9, 59.5. I mean, 59s the whole way through this race. That's a big marker to put down for the rest of the field.
I don't know if that came through on your headset, Jack. There was a big scrape with the
Yeah,
wall there.
I saw it as well.
Oh, and I just heard our producer Marco jump out of his chair as well. And now, looking up the back of Fioroni towards Christophe Herbignon. Has Herbignon got the run enough? No, he just, like you said, Jack, he just hits that invisible barrier of air. He just cannot drive any quicker because he's just got that car a little bit. I'm not going to say too much. He's got more wing, but anyway, here comes Aleix Alcaraz winning in dominant fashion this opening heat. And Fioroni, and Herbignon sells the dummy. Oh, the Belgian bullet sells the dummy, shoves Fioroni off. Christophe Herbignon takes second position from Fioroni. And look at this. This man continues to impress and dominate the AM class. Victor Anderson is your winner in the AM class, 4th overall. Carl Mordor finishes 5th from the pit lane. Fantastic stuff from him. Now, what happens here? Derek Holland and Brett Pancari.
On my screen, unfortunately.
Derek Holland puts it in the wall. Sorry, Jack, I forgot about our shared technical issue that we always have for replays. Derek Holland puts it in the wall, but still gets his spot in the feature. So, you know, these would be mistakes you couldn't get away with at Interlagos. But at Bathurst, you're never out of it until the checkered flag drops, especially because our drivers do have access to the iRacing fast repair. Let's get another look at Fioroni. So he moves across to defend the position, and then Herbignon puts it up the inside, and that doesn't give him a great deal of room. But what do you think, Jack?
That's I think that's hard, fair racing. I mean, obviously Fioroni wasn't happy with him after the finish, as you can clearly see there. But yeah, that's pure Italian rage coming out right there at the end. But I mean, I think that's hard, fair racing. I'd say it was wheel-on-wheel contact. It definitely wasn't intentional from Herbignon. He was trying everything to get in, and I mean, that's last corner, last lap. That's what happens. But either way, we've got another heat race to deal with now, and a crucial one really for Mr. Raoul Hyman, who starts from P2.
It is indeed. Yeah, of course, he will start from the front row of the grid, will Raoul Hyman. But let's have a quick run through our Heat 1 results. Aleix Alcaraz winning with Christophe Herbignon getting second, Francesco Fioroni in third. Victor Anderson, our AM class winner, with Carl Modoff 5th, Mark Jones 6th, Vincenzo Carcetti was 7th, followed by Brett Pancari, Sonny Venables, Derek Holland, Dan Shuring, and Kevin Kittleman getting the last spot in the feature race. The rest will have to go through the dreaded Consolation. So, starting heat number 2, we have David Holland alongside Raoul Hyman. Row 2, we'll see Mark Bartolotta and Matt Corona. Row 3, Arthur Fry and Daniel Cranefuss. Row 4, Vitolo Garcia and Stratos Kirlakitsis. And I believe I can hear revs. So we are go once more here at Bathurst. Raoul Hyman jinks to the inside, then jinks to the outside again. But David Holland, he's seen all that before. He takes the lead through Hell Corner, but Raoul Hyman, he's clearly in a mood to get past early, and they go side by side up the mountain straight.
Yeah, watch out for Bartolotta as well. He's slotted in behind Raoul Hyman here as they come up to the mountain for the first time. Holland to the inside is going to try and hang on, but Hyman's got it done on the outside. But Holland with the cutback line, beautifully done on the inside for the American, and cuts off Raoul Hyman immediately. This is going to be a great fight between these two as they come up the mountain for the first time. All clean for everybody. I don't think there was any pit lane starters in this one. David Holland now going to try and keep himself in front of Raoul Hyman. But Hyman needs really to get in front so he can start on the front row versus his championship rival.
Indeed, yeah, there's a brilliant defence there from David Holland, but it seems to me, Jack, that the drivers who have tried to go around the outside at Quarry Bend, there is just no grip out there, and as you rightly pointed out, it really cambers off towards the wall, and you really need to kind of hook in on the inside and you know, on the racing line to really make the most of it. It's a little bit of a false opportunity there, but they come through Forest Elbow for the first time. Holland, Hyman, Bartolotta, Corona, and Fry. And Arthur Fry, he was so unlucky at Interlagos, challenging for the win and got put in the wall. Speaking of, that's one of the Indy Autosport cars in the wall. That's Brown. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Number 237. But if he can limp that car back to pit lane and take his fast repair, he's not out the race.
Yeah, just got into the wall a little bit in Forest Elbow, and there goes Stratos. He gets in front of Vitolo Garcia, so that's a move for P6 for the Greek. But the top 5 are away, and David Holland now got a very experienced man behind him now, former FIA Formula 3 driver, and then we've got Max Bartolotta as well, but he's under pressure from Matt Coruna as well, not too far behind. And Arthur Fry, yeah, you were mentioning he was so unlucky not to get the win in Interlagos, but proving again he's got pace. Matt Coruna now challenging the Squadra Corsa car of Max Bartolotta, pulling out of the slipstream instantly, back into the inside, and Bartolotta immediately knows to hang it to the inside, but he knows that Coruna's not going to be able to pull alongside as they head up to the mountain. But in the background you can see Vitolo Garcia and Stratos going side by side, and Garcia tries to go around the outside, but again he gets washed out to the wall, as you mentioned, the magnet wall, and he's going to nearly lose 2 positions just because of trying to go around the outside right there.
It's just something that's just occurred to me, Jack, that we don't have shiny car today. Mitch Green doesn't appear to be in the grid today, which is deeply disappointing.
Peter wants a shiny car. Yeah, no, we haven't actually gotten today. No, that's didn't even notice that, honestly. But yeah, sad we don't have a shiny car with us today. Get shiny car back in next week. We want to see that. But yeah, David Holland still leading. Hyman, Bartolotta, Coruna, and Fry are your breakaway group from the rest of the field. A good run from Arthur Fry that time. Look at him on the back of Coruna now, almost touching him as he moves to the inside line for the chase. But now we're going to see who's got it set up for the straight line, who's got it set up for the corners. A little bit quicker for Arthur Fry as he heads up the hill towards the chase. He is in front. Can he cut in front of Coruna? He's got a car length in front, and he is in front. And easy pickings for the Englishman on his fellow countryman. And into P4 goes Arthur Fry. And Coruna's still trying to come back at him though as they head down towards Murray's. He's on the outside line for the next corner, but he's going to get squeezed there as he comes in. Arthur just leaves him just enough room, not enough to make a move, but he just leaves him enough there. But look at this, is a great battle between these two as they head towards Hell Corner. He's on the inside as Matt Coruna. Can he outbreak him? They're going to go neck and neck through there. Arthur Fry goes around the outside, but that fight is nowhere near done.
No, it is definitely not, and they're not out of touch either from the top 3 either. But David Holland's just starting to stretch Raul Hyman a little bit, and I wonder, Jack. Here's a question for you. I wonder if Raul Hyman has maybe thought, do you know what? I've got such good pace, but he's made a couple of very critical mistakes, and I wonder if he's maybe just thinking, do you know what? My 85% is going to be more than good enough here. I've just got to take my time. And Raul Hyman's proved that probably over 1 lap is the quickest guy in the championship, but he's really not quite put it together when it matters. And although he's had very good success in the heat races, it has come undone in the last 2 features. So although this is the heat, I wonder if he's maybe just applying a different strategy here today.
Yeah, it could be. Just he knows he's secure in the feature if he just keeps at the current pace, and he knows he's got a championship to fight for because, well, if he makes up one position, yeah, it's the front row, but if he stays where he is, it's only the second row, which isn't the worst thing in the world, so he just needs to kind of minimise the damage today, really. And of course, we can't discount that Aleix Alcaraz, that was a scrape of the wall with Matt Coruna right there. You could hear it as he came through Forest Elbow. You just hear the little sound as he scraped the wall on the exit. They're really pushing the limits around here. Onboard as well, great sound. You can hear the car bottoming out on the top of the mountain as well. There's fantastic sounds that iRacing put in this car. Listen to that, it's great.
Oh yeah, I love the sound of it just rattling down the gearbox as well. This is a pure-bred racer built by Dallara in Italy. One of the greatest ever racing car constructors anywhere in history. Founded in 1972 by Mr. Giampaolo Dallara, who's now the ripe old age of 83, and still runs the company. and it very much encourages a lot of younger participation in the company. As whoop, we've got one of the first racing cars off in the background. That is Daniel Cranefuss into the wall. Well, we might need a crane to get that out of there. So he's up behind Kratos Kurlakitsis. So let's see what happens here. I think he maybe just loses it on the exit of Hell Corner, and also Stratos makes a mistake as well, and he kind of follows him through there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Not ideal at all, and that car looking very second-hand. Back to the front there. Yeah, it's coming back to Dallara. Very much a company that promotes young engineers, and actually the Dallara company has an average age of their employees of 34, believe it or not.
It's a very interesting statistic, actually, especially for a company that's so steeped in tradition and have such a young staff. It's fantastic. Well, you mentioned that Raoul Hyman was keeping pace behind. He just had the fastest lap of the race, 59.4 on the previous lap. David Holland is right on it though, 59.5. So Alcaraz, Holland, and Hyman are all on exactly the same pace, which is exactly what we want to see. But Hyman is right in there. He's got the benefit of the toe, and look at that, John Gordon, hands for high, moves over for him, but straight through, and Hans Verheyen kind of just gave up his spot in the feature race right there. Didn't fight for it and just let John Gordon goes straight through. But let's have a look at the laps this time, because it was very quick last time. Look at that, 59.5 for Holland. Hyman was a 59.41 for the man last time, so they're right on the pace through. Murray's a little wide for Holland there though, as they come across. Let's have a look now. It'll definitely be a quicker lap for Hyman, 59.3. Look at that.
So he's not dithering then, that's for sure. He's still going absolutely full bore, fastest lap of the race. I mean, he is in the toe. It is going to be easier for him to, for Raoul Hyman to put in those really quick times, because look at the benefit he's getting on the toe. It's like he's got another 30 horsepower. That is the slipstream. He goes to the outside. This is a big move. Oh, as you can, dearie me. I get the feeling we're going to see somebody pull that off once, and only once.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that's going to be like a last lap, last ditch effort that we're going to see in maybe the feature race, or possibly even the Consolation. I feel some desperation might creep in the Consolation later on. This is Waldemar Kardea and Khan Nguyen fighting for P9. They're safely into the feature at the moment, so they don't need to fight too hard for this one. Nonetheless, they're still going to exchange positions. It's for P2 and Pro-Am as well, so it's an important battle at the same time. And, coming down the hill they go. They're going to be safe where they are for now, with only about 6 minutes, less than 6 minutes left in this feature race, or in the second heat race. But it bodes well that Holland, Hyman, and Alcaraz are all evenly matched on pace, and Holland is doing the same times that Alex Alcaraz was in the clean air as well. So Hyman's got the draft, sure, but Holland is on the pace of Alcaraz in clean air.
Yep, it's certainly so close at the front. That is for sure. David Holland doing a great job here, keeping Raoul Hyman at bay. And of course, this is quite unusual. I mean, we've seen every heat that Raoul Hyman's been in. He's just been so quick and so dominant. But he's very much met his match here from David Holland and Bartolotta. Bartolotta under the 2-minute barrier there. Oh, so he's going to get a good spot in the feature as things stand. Also, Arthur Fry will get a top 10 grid spot also. So these guys all running really strong pace. But you go all the way down to 7th, and Vitolo Garcia a 2-minute flat .2. So it's so tight at the top.
Yeah, it really is. It was a slow lap from both the leaders that time. 2-minute. It was a 2-minute lap for Holland, and then just a high 59 for Hyman. So I think they've just backed off a little bit on this lap, on the previous lap. And Hyman just biding his time right now. He's just using Holland to drag him along. And it's just how close they get to these walls. You just wince every time you look at it, because the damage model on these cars is so vicious. Even the slightest contact could break the suspension. I noticed they're leaving plenty of room on the wall just before McPhillamy Park. They're leaving absolutely nothing on the table through the dipper. Watch this as they come through. Just keeping it very tight to the wall through there. We're really pushing it in qualifying with a 51 degrees Celsius track temperature through Forest Elbow they come. And it's definitely a spectacle to watch these cars come around. You don't see them too often race around Bathurst, but it's great to see them when they come.
Absolutely, yeah. These I love the way on that change of direction, the way the rear of the car just kind of dances around. It's just beautiful to watch. And obviously they've got, you know, quite sophisticated. Oh, here goes Hyman. Here goes Hyman. Is he going to try and go for the switch back here? He's really asking big questions now of David Holland, but David Holland, very clever, making sure he defends his line. He keeps the inside line for the final corner, coming down into Murray's. The other circuit where Murray's is the name of the last corner of course, Snetterton. So it's about the only thing that Snetterton and Bathurst have in common. Snetterton flat as a pancake and cold. Bathurst very hilly and obviously very hot as well. But Hyman, I tell you what, you gotta love this racer's instinct from Raoul Hyman, Jack, because he doesn't really necessarily need to get this position, but he wants it, and that's the main thing.
To the outside, is he going to have a go? No, I think he's going to wait for that cutback line. But Holland, he knows what to do there. He cuts him off, and up the hill they come side by side between Hyman and Holland. Around the outside goes Hyman. He gives it a go. He gives it a real go on the outside, but there's no space to do it. I'll give him points for effort there, and Holland did well to give him room. But my God, this is close. Look how close they're running it to the wall. He doesn't really need to do this. He's safe in the feature, but he's running the risk if he starts on the front. He's going to obviously give it to his championship rival. He needs every position he can possibly gain, and points, of course, crucial championship points to minimise the damage. But wow, this is unbelievable now. On board with Raoul Hyman as he comes down through the dipper. He's been following David Holland for the entire race so far. He's going to have one more lap to do it next time by. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This is only the second heat race as well.
Absolutely, and I just wonder if Raoul Hyman's been spooked slightly. I think he's maybe just taken a little bit of damage. He rubbed the wall there. I do not think this car is at 100%, but let's keep an eye on it. He's in the draft now. Let's see if he pulls in much on David Holland. He does. Here he goes now, and oh, he's got that car lovely and trimmed out. Is he going to make a move? David Holland's so good on the defense there. Oh, Hyman's got the edge on the brakes. Can he get the switch back? He's going to try. Oh my word, that's an amazing maneuver from Raoul Hyman. Forget what I said about the car not being 100%. Not a problem at all. He goes to defend. David Holland's not going to give it up easy. And all they're doing is allowing Max Bartolotta to get back into this battle. And Bartolotta's probably sitting there with his packet of popcorn going, yes, boys, have a punch up. Fantastic. I might get a heat win here.
Yeah, absolutely. Arthur Fry's watching as well in the background. He was the fastest out of the three, and that's lap by. Bartolotta's right in this now. Raoul Hyman's got to use all of his experience now to keep David Holland behind him. He made a spectacular move at this chase. Now, here comes David Holland for his attempt on the outside line. Is he going to try it around the outside? He's going to look for the cutback line. Hyman knows what to do this time, though. He did exactly the same thing last lap. Hyman getting the run up the mountain this time, but Bartolotta is firmly in there now, and the Italian's going to want to try and make a move here. Holland gets a little sideways on the entry. This is proper Formula 3 racing we're watching right now as they come up the hill for the final time. Hyman is going to be very vulnerable down the straight, but he's got to basically park the bus through this next part of this of the behind him in real life racing, and David Holland is giving it everything. Now look how close he's running it as they come through McPhillamy Park into the dipper. Looks to the inside, no way through as they side their way down the hill for the last time in this second heat race of the night down to Forest Elbow. Little mistake there from Holland as he came on the exit of that corner down into Forest Elbow. Now this is where Hyman needs the better exit, and here comes Holland now. This is going to be his only and final opportunity to get past Raoul Hyman, and look at the slipstream now. He's going to try to go to the inside. He touches the grass as he tries to get down there, and he's hugging the inside line, and let's see if Holland is going to be able to do enough to catch up. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it as he comes through the chase for the last time. He's closing, but he's not closing enough, is David Holland, as he gets onto the brakes for the chase into the left-hander. Hyman's a bit wide though as they come through there now for the last corner. We saw him come down to the last corner last lap. Here comes David Holland on the outside line. He's going to have to go to the outside. Hyman's going to squeeze him as much as he possibly can. Now for the cutback line for David Holland. It's going to be a muffled. Oh, there's a contact there. Bartolotta looks to the inside. It's going to be side by side, and David Holland holds on for second place. Hyman gets it by a whisker. Brilliant racing.
Oh my word. And David Holland just gets second place there from Bartolotta as well. Crazy stuff. Oh, I thought Bartolotta was going to get the double draft there, but a little mistake from Holland going over the mountain really took him back slightly. Well, what a finish to this second heat there. And I tell you what, once Hyman got the lead, he was super strong, Jack, I have to say. So we see Kez Dross going over the line in 8th. We wait for Nguyen, who will, yep, he will get the last spot on the feature. So Hands for High, the first to be there without a seat when the music stops. So he will have to go through the consolation race, which is always a little bit of a punishment exercise, unfortunately. So, what a thriller, Jack.
Yeah, that was. I think we definitely need the warm up to calm down after that one. But I think what saved David Holland there for second place is actually the start finish line is very close to the last corner. It's the first line rather than the second one that we see on the start finish. So he got saved by that fact. But Raoul Hyman, I mean, I think he was strategically hanging back. He wanted to make the move before the last lap and defend because he knew he could. But David Holland gave it everything. But now it's Hyman versus Alcaraz versus Holland versus Bartolotta basically now in the feature race, which is going to be absolutely mental. So look forward to it.
Absolutely, we do, as we get the number 237 of Brown over the line. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the results then for this second heat. Here we are, Raoul Hyman then the winner by just 0.3 of a second from David Holland and Mark Bartolotta. Arthur Fry was 4th with Matt Corona 5th, Vitolo Garcia 6th, Stratus Kirlikitsa 7th, followed by Case Draws, Waldemar Cardea, Vince Harley, John Gordon, and Can Nguyen. So, and the grid for this consolation race, Toby Ward on pole position with Hands Verheyen alongside the no problem at all. So the front front row of the grid is Toby Ward and Hans Verheyen with Richard Holding and Marcel Tumbas in row 2. Damien McMillan will start on row 3 with Stephen Brown. Lockie Brown will start 7th alongside Daniel Cranefuss. Tony Seppel in 9th, John Vogel 10th, and Alok Iyengar in 11th with 6 spots for the feature. So you actually got even better than 50-50 odds for a change, Jack.
Yeah, you certainly do. But yeah, it's going to be a good one as the lights are about to illuminate for the consolation race. Here we go. There's a jump starter in the background. I think that was Marcel Tumbas who just jumped the start. Away they go for the consolation race. Good start from Toby Ward. Good start from Verheyen, but a jump start from Marcel Tumbas. Maybe he got away with that because I don't think he actually went in front of his pit box or of his box, and he runs. Oh yeah, he's got to drive through. And so Marcel Tumbas has pulled it off the road immediately. So he's going to be out of the running, as is Alok Iyengar, as is John Vogel. They're out of the running, so only 2 drivers are not going to make it through, and that's going to make it even more intense.
Absolutely, yeah. So you do not want to be the guy left without a date for the ball. So let's see then. This is where it's all going to come down to the last little scraps to get into the feature race. But although it's an entry into the feature, you're at the very, very back of the pack in the 30-car feature race grid. But Toby Ward leads away confidently with Hands for High now 3rd, with Lockie Brown making his way through to 2nd, and he's got serious pace. Oh, whoa, leaving it all out there, and wow, just coming, oh my word, he's just coming through there like the other guys are standing still. Wow, Lockie Brown, I mean, of course, he is at World Championship level in the V8 Supercar, of course, a car much more at home, shall we say, here at Bathurst for the Bathurst 1000, but wow, big flash! Are
they going to get through that? Hopefully they do. Yes, they will.
No,
I think they should get through that. Most of the field have got through that. So that's a massive crash, though. So I think Toby Ward got a tag in the rear from the car behind. Let's have a look at it again. Just see. Yeah, we'll get a replay in just a moment's time. Here we are. Toby Ward just away. He got a tag from Hands Verheyen right here as he comes down the hill. So yeah, there you go, and just caused a chain reaction. And Mullen did very well to check up there to get out of that one. So he's managed to get through, and he's because he kept it clean. He's now into P3. So it's Lockie Brown, Richard Holding, and Damien McMullen all of a sudden who are in top 3. But the Lockie Brown, that was incredible opening few corners. He just he just drove past everyone, like I said, as if they were just not moving at all. And he's now 6 seconds clear in the lead of this Consolation race. We said the Consolation is going to be absolutely mental, and here you can see why, because basically everybody else is in the pit lane.
Well, this is the thing. This is going to be a completely new. What did we say about the fast repair? These guys are far from out of it. You know, we've got a Formula Ford there who's managed to get them into the pit lane, lost the rear wing there. That's Toby Ward's car. It looks like a perfect Formula Ford replica. So in they come then. Of course, the drivers do have a fast repair, so they can basically come in, stop, and they get a brand new shiny Dallara Formula 3 car. It's like Formula Rich Dad in virtual form. As you see, they park in and just like brand new, bit more carbon fiber. Woof, off we go again. There you go, just like magic. And the bill is in the post. So off we go. So this is now Toby Ward. After all that, he's still got a ticket to the feature, and it's kind of as they were. Hands were high, who ploughed into the back of him there. He's in 7th, so it's almost as they were, Jack.
Yeah, even though there was a huge accident, I mean, yeah, it's basically stayed the same. Thankfully, there wasn't, and because it was the Consolation race, there wasn't another 20 cars piling down the dipper into that. Oh, he's gone into the wall again. His hands were high on the mountain. That's him out. So let's see. Does he just lose it on the brakes, or what has happened here? Does he get on the grass on the entry? Does it just go around? Oh, he just gets washed into the wall.
Need to do.
Bang, big one.
And I feel like that's the kid at Christmas when you break one toy and they get a replacement, and you break the second one and you go, right, that's it, you're not getting another one. And that is unfortunately what has happened to Hands Were High there. So that makes the battle that makes Toby Ward's life a lot more comfortable, because the next man along is Tony Sepola in 7th place. And Tony is 10, by my timing screen's right, 10 seconds behind Toby with just over 5 minutes to go. So, Toby Ward's life certainly got a lot more comfortable there, that's for sure. But I think now we're just going to sit back and revel in Lockie Brown's pace, because it's mighty, mighty impressive. Of course, Lockie, a proper Bathurst expert in any car, but really showing his mettle here. It must be cars with high aerodynamics where he's so fast, Jack.
Yeah, certainly seems to be. So we'll see how this next lap compares to the top boys. If you can get in a 2-minute lap, then that's impressive. So we'll see what he can do. There's Toby Ward and Daniel Cranefuss, who was also involved in that incident. He's the only pro driver in there, so he's obviously going to take a pro class win, no matter what, as in this Consolation race.
It certainly is a consolation, isn't it? You've finished 5th in the Consolation. But I did win the pro class.
Exactly. I was making the point earlier about that crash we saw in the dipper, is that we were looking at, there was only 3 cars behind rather than 23 cars behind piling down the dipper to that. So we pray that we don't see that in the feature race, because then we're definitely going to see an appearance of the safety car, and whether it's a good thing or not, we have the control of the safety car, so we decide when it goes out. And if we see that a horrendous accident to the dipper, we will be seeing the pace car come out for the first time this season. But hopefully we won't hopefully we won't see that. A little misjudgment from our lead, but our man behind the leader. Here comes Lockie Brown. Now, what's his pace like as he comes across the line to set this lap? It's that's decent. 2:07 for Lockie Brown. So he's right there. He's maybe not like on the pace of the leaders, but he's certainly in the top end of the midfield.
Well, he's well in the slot there, that's for sure. Anything under 2:01, you're competitive. The only problem he's going to have, Jack, is starting back a bit like what for Karl Modov last week. We saw this last time, didn't we, where Karl Modov absolutely destroyed everybody in the Consolation race, but then was granted with a 25th place spot on the grid for the feature. And that is unfortunately the other kind of double effect of being in the Consolation, is that even if you win it, you are still very far back in the feature. But you know, the thing, as we've seen, the attrition rate is so high. If he can run that pace cleanly over the feature race, who knows, we could see Lockie Brown getting a good result. He certainly does deserve one after his busy day at the rig at some quite unsavoury hours.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't think I'd have the willpower to get up at about 3 or 4 in the morning, hop into a Le Mans hybrid, and do 6 hours on your own, and then hop into a Bathurst race in a Formula 3 car. That takes some dedication, I'll tell you that. So, Lockie Brown, yeah, he certainly deserves a good result. Carl Bodoff managed to get from 23rd, 25th on the grid up to a top five position. I wonder could he do that, or even just get himself a good spot in the Pro Am class. He is in the Pro Am class. He can get himself a decent result there if he keeps up the pace. I can certainly see a top five at least in Pro Am for him today, which would be a really good effort from him. But we should be getting the white flag this time by, and this is the biggest win margin we're going to see today. 17 seconds, and I think it's going to be more by the end of it.
Yeah, it's been absolutely dominant, and it's just I don't think I've seen for a long time a driver just carving through the pack so convincingly and so quickly. And then, but not only that, over the mountain at Bathurst, where he made us, well, he certainly made me sound a fool there, Jack, because I'm like, oh, it's all one line, you can't get through there, and then whoosh, through he goes, a 2 minute 0.5. That's really hot pace, and with the fuel coming down here, I wonder if he maybe put in one more quick lap and we could see him matching the pace of the very, very top guys here, Jack, because, well, it's Lockie Brown. He's certainly showing it.
Yeah, he certainly is. 2 minute 5 on the previous lap for him, which is right on the money. So let's see if he can if he can even improve on this next lap. Track improves as you go, of course. If he can maybe get a low 2 minute lap, then that's certainly one to keep your eye on for another part of the race. And yeah, he's got a decent. Of course, he's going to be starting down the back of the grid, but he's certainly got a decent race in front of him. And as he scrapes the wall on the entry into the dipper, that's not what you want to do, ideally. But he's certainly given it everything, even if he's clear out front. He wants that fastest lap to be maybe dipping into the 59s.
Well, that would be mighty. That's, yeah, he's not leaving anything out on the table there, is he? As he comes down Conrod straight for the final time then. And Lockie Brown will have his ticket to the feature. He will start 25th, but we know that he's got massive, massive potential and pace underneath this Dallara F3 machine, down the gearbox, rattling down to probably second gear for the guys through there, through the chase, and then down toward Murray's corner. Checkered flag raised. And the number 33 of Lockie Brown is your winner then in the consolation race. And Jack, we've got a bit of idle chit chat until the second place driver of Holding and the third of Brown come to the line. As on the last lap there, look at that time from Lockie Brown, 2 minute flat point 231. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's right. He's right in the window for a decent result today. So Richard Holding, he'll take second. Then it'll be Stephen Brown in third. Damien McMullen, he'll be the next car to cross the line. And then the two guys that were in a massive accident in the dipper, it'll be Daniel Cranefuss and Toby Ward, who was the man who was punted around, and he'll still make it into the feature race, albeit at the very, very back of the field. So we'll see if he's able to do anything from that. And non-finishers, of course, will be Marcel Tumbas, Hans Verheij. Alec Geingard didn't start, John Plummer did not start. But yeah, that's certainly a feature race that's probably going to be one for the books, considering how close the heat races have been. We've got our 4 fastest guys on the first 2 rows of the grid. It's going to be definitely going to be one to watch, and we'll see in due course what's going to happen. But final car across the line, Toby Ward. Well, actually, no, it's not the final car. We still have to wait for Tony Seppola to get to the line now.
We do, yes. We wait for the final fling from the Finn. Tony Seppola, there he comes, over the line he goes. So that concludes our consolation race. We have our 6 drivers who will head through to the feature race, and let's have a look at them now. Lockie Brown then confirmed your winner by 22.6 seconds in a 10-minute sprint race. Extraordinary. Stephen Brown finished third with Damien McMillan fourth, and Daniel Cranefuss fifth, and Toby Ward finishing in 6th spot and taking the last place on the feature race grid. Tony Sepula, Marcel Tumbes, Hans Verheij, John Vogel, and Alec Iyengar do not progress. We're going to take a very short break here on Apex Racing TV for a message from our sponsors, the Virtual Racing School, and we will be right back for the main event.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Mount Panorama, where, well, we've just been treated to a clinic with Lockie Brown winning the Consolation race and getting his spot in the feature. But it's going to be who can stop Aleix Alcaraz. He has been so quick all day. But who can stop him? Will it be Ralph Hyman? Will it be Marcus Bartolotta? Will it be Francesco Fioroni? Who knows? It's going to be frantic, that is for sure. But I think that Aleix Alcaraz is probably going to be going into this as the favourite, Jack, would you say?
I'd say so, yeah. He's been the most clinical so far. He hasn't had to really fight for anything. If he nails his start, which he has done for the past couple of rounds, then he's going to be the man to beat. But Raul Hyman, we saw how strong he is following. Oh, there we go. Actually, don't do that in the race, Alice, on the exit of the dipper. But I think that's going to be, we're going to see some of that because that's cold tires on a very hot track, which are 2 combinations that don't work in this one. But yeah, Aleix Alcaraz is very strong, and yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to watch how this is going to progress, because I think it is going to be a straight fight, I think, between Aleix and Raul Hyman, with Arthur Freitag, and I think Arthur Freitag for a cheeky 7th place, I think is what I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, we've just got enough time for a quick bit of warm-up session trivia for you, Jack. Of course, the Bathurst 1000, which this circuit is so famous for, always a big battle between Holden and Ford. But do you know which manufacturer was the last to win that wasn't a Holden or a Ford?
Oh, I don't know.
You might be surprised. It was Volvo, with a certain Jim Richards and Rickard Rydell at the wheel. It was in the Super Touring days.
Volvo, yeah. I forgot they used to race around this part of the world.
They did.
Yeah, interesting
Actually,
stuff.
quite recently too, in the V8s as well, latterly, which was very cool indeed. But so there you go. Alish Alcaraz on pole position with Raul Hyman alongside him on the front row. That's going to be a great battle. On row 2, the Belgian bullet Christophe Herbignon lines up beside David Holland. Row 3 sees the Italian stallions Francesco Fioroni and Marx Bartolotta. Victor Anderson is the leading AM driver in 7th with Arthur Fry 8th. Carl Modolf begins from 9th with Matt Corona in 10th. Mark Jones starts 11th with Vitolo Garcia 12th. On row 7 will be Vincenzo Caracchedi and Stratos Kirlakitsis. Row 8, Brett Pancari and Kez Drost. Sammy Venables and Waldemar Cardea begin on row 9, with row 10 seeing Derek Holland and Vince Harley. Row 11 will see Dan Shoring and John Gordon, and row 12, Kevin Kittleman and Can Nagoyan. Lockie Brown starts from 25th, followed by Richard Holding, Stephen Brown, Damien McMullen, and the lights are up. We're about ready to go for this 20-minute feature race. Here at Bathurst, the lights are off, and we are go. Little bit of a bog down there from Alish Alcaraz, but just about manages it. Yep, seals up the lead into Hill Corner, and up the mountain straight they go. Alcaraz from Hyman, from Herbignon, from Holland are your top 4, with the 2 Italians, Fioroni and Bartolotta, not too far behind.
Absolutely, Raul Hyman already challenging for the lead now on the run up towards the mountain. He's going to have the outside line. Is he going to try and throw it around the outside? He's not going to be able to do that. He's going to fall into the clutches of Christophe Herbignon and David Holland, who are right behind him as they head up the mountain for the very first time. But it's Alcaraz who got the start he needed, and it was a very even start between our top 3. A little bit of a mistake from Alcaraz on the exit of the hairpin there as they come up the hill for the first time. Brave stuff here from Raul Hyman. He's going to go to the outside line on the top of the hill. He's going to hit the wall, and it's going to be a big one at the top of the hill. Raul Hyman and Carl Modolf flipping wildly down the street. It's a huge one at the top of the hill with multiple cars involved, but that is a huge accident for Raul Hyman, who was the P2 in the championship. He tried to move on the outside, hit the wall, and it's a huge one at the top of the hill, not what we wanted to see.
Well, what can we say? I mean, who has beaten Raul Hyman in this championship? Unfortunately, his name is Raul Hyman. That move was never on, and no room at all. And yeah, Raul Hyman paid the price, but he took a lot of people with him there. Tries to hang it around the outside, hugely low percentage move. Slides off. We took out Herbignon, and wow, big time. So did Modolf get through clean then?
I believe he did, yeah.
Wow, okay, I thought Modolf had got caught up in that. Yes, there he is. Okay. Well, so just Herbignon, but Herbignon will be furious as he had nothing to do with that move. And oh well, again. And Arthur Fry's off. Oh, but he manages to recover. Well, again, Alish Alcaraz is one of the. Oh, now who's that spinning around? Oh, it's Holland.
David Holland.
My word, dropping like flies.
David Holland's gone off as well. So that. What is going on right here? So we've lost Hyman, we've lost Holland. Alcaraz is clear out from Francesco Fiorino, and Carl Modolf is into 3rd place. Bartolotta and Fry. Then it's Victor Anderson, Karuna, Jones, Garcia, and Kirlakitsis. But wow, what an opening lap! What chaos we had! And there goes Bartolotta past Carl Modolf in the slipstream and gets around the outside as well. He's going to hit the wall, is he? He's going to tap into the wall again. But I think, has he escaped without too much damage? I think he has, but this has been a real opening lap of attrition. But Alish Alcaraz is 1.4 seconds clear, and he did exactly what he needs to do. And he's in clean air and 2 seconds in front.
Yeah, Alish Alcaraz has been the man who hasn't made the mistakes under the pressure. As look at this, here comes Matt Corona having a look up the inside. Whoa, at McPhillamy Park. Here we go. Woof, round we go. Really, really quick through there. Oh, gee, that is so tight there. I think that was John Gordon, I think, going wide there at Skyline. So this is frantic. Single-seater racing. This is like Macau.
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. I mean, Macau is just like this. Just walls either side of you and just craziness going on. And yeah, that was not ideal. for an opening lap, but it was ideal for the man in the lead, Alcaraz, with Fioroni making a good effort up to P2, and Carl Modoff with a brilliant getaway, by the way, up to P3. He's done very well. Here now comes Max Bartolotta. It's actually Bartolotta the outside of Anderson. Sweeps around the outside of the chase. He's going to go onto the grass, though. He took too much speed in, and Anderson takes it back, and Karun is also going to get himself past as well at the same time. So that's how much you can get away with. Victor Anderson, we always mention him. Look at him running up inside the top 5 in with the pro guys. Great effort from him so far.
Wow, look at that time there from Aleix Alcaraz. 159.4 as they go 3 wide on the pit straight here, which is pretty narrow here at Bathurst. But Vitolo Garcia goes up the inside of Jones. Stratos Kirlikits is in there as well in 10th spot, with Karkedi in 11th. Venables right beside. Now, who's that taking a slowdown penalty? That is... that's Raul Hyman coming back on Kirkit after getting a tow back to pit lane and then taking his fast repair. But he's a couple of laps down, so his day is done. But we'll just see how many others hit problems, and I think that's probably what Raul Hyman is banking on. Others hitting big issues. Whew, what a start to this motor race it has been, but I get the impression that maybe if Karl Modoff can get into second place, he might be able to run down Aleix Alcaraz, but it would be a big ask.
Oh, John Gordon, he's trying to run on the outside right there. No, actually, that was Derek Holland who tried to go around the outside there, and he backed off sensibly after seeing what happened to Raul Hyman earlier on. You can see Daniel Cranefuss has made a move past in the background as well. But this is Fioroni scraping the wall there on the down at the Forest elbow, and yeah, Karl Modoff is on an absolute flyer. We know how fast this man is. We saw how well he did at Interlagos in the slipstream. Has he got the pace over that Squadra Corsa car in front of him here as they head down towards the chase? But it seems those Squadra Corsa cars are just so fast in a straight line that it's almost impossible to get up alongside them, but they seem to be much better through the corners to the other cars. But you can see there, look at Modoff through the corners, gets a brilliant exit out of the chase down towards Murray's, but Fioroni's going to shut the door on him, switch to the inside for Modoff, but he's not able to get alongside. But yeah, those Squadra Corsa cars rapid in a straight line.
Yeah, it looks like they've just running a slightly lower downforce setup, and I think that's a really strong call actually, Jack, because, you know, that you can be able, as we see Matt Corona battling here with Victor Anderson. Anderson on the outside, Corona on the inside. Are they going to make contact? Oh, nearly. Wow, that was close. Whew. So yeah, the Squadra the other Squadra Corsa car of Karkedi, who I presume is running the same setup there, as he runs Venables onto the grass. Oh my word, this is tough stuff. But Venables has the inside line just, and they give themselves now plenty of distance, saying, no, you're a maniac, no, you're a maniac. And Venables sends it up the inside. Oh, jeepers creepers. Oh, this is mad stuff here at Bathurst. And now comes Karkedi, and he gets it up the inside and takes the spot. But yeah, just coming back to the Squadra Corsa guys, I think running that slightly lower downforce setup, if you can handle it. Jeepers. Oh!
How on earth has Modoff held that? Oh my word! What a save, Karl Modoff. He's got front wing damage, but what a save! What a save from that man right there. I was going to say, just to put in as well, I need to see that again. That was unbelievable save from Karl Modoff. He got into the side of Fioroni, tried to go up the inside into McPhillamy, tap on the rear, and what a save from both of them. Fioroni was sideways, Modoff was sideways, somehow managed to keep it in a straight line, but oh my god, you cannot take your eyes off this. Now this is pod racing.
My word, this is fantastic stuff here, yes. Well, Karl Modoff, my word, he will be twitching like a rabbit's nose right now after that one, because that was a massive incident.
Alcaraz!
What the? Oh my word! Aleix Alcaraz from the lead has made an error somewhere, and it has forced him to come into pit lane to take his fast repair. Wow. And who's at the top? Well, the pick of Mr. Jack Canan.
Yeah.
How smug do you
Fioroni and
feel
Arthur
right
Fry. Yeah, pretty smug. But yeah, Arthur Fry, he's in my predicted position at the moment, Arthur Fry for P2, but he's got a good shot at that win, Francesco Fioroni. But actually, probably the man who's going to be the most threat to both, well, would have been had he not got the wing damage, is Karl Modolf in P3 at the moment. But we'll see how he gets on. He's still carrying the wing damage, so it will affect him, but he's certainly doing well to hang on where he is right now. Alcaraz has emerged in P19, so it's been a terrible day for both of the championship rivals, for Raul and for Alcaraz. But Anderson, he is the cork in the bottle. He's somehow keeping Matt Karuna behind as he comes down the hill. He's on the inside as Matt Karuna no way through down the hill. But Anderson is doing a stellar job to keep these guys behind him as they come through McFlynn Park. It's wide for the Swede through there, uses all the current, but he's got 4 or 5 cars behind him that clearly have more pace than him, but he's defending very well.
He really is, yeah. He's doing a great job here. It's Victor Anderson again. He did a fantastic job at Interlagos 7 days ago. And do remember, folks, that as you can see, as you look to the left of Victor Anderson's name on our time screen, he's got a red marker, which means he's in the AM class. So he's next AM driver is Jones in 9th. So Victor Anderson once again squaring up to the pros. But here goes Corona. And interestingly there, so Corona will have the inside for the fast right-hander, but down into the chase. Oh, I thought they were going to tangle wheels there. And Victor Anderson really lunges late on the brakes. Corona's not going to let him have it. Oh, be careful, guys. Oh, jeepers creepers.
That's brilliant racing between all of them as they come down. Oh, Keys Drost is off the road at the chase as well. He's just run off the road a little bit, but Anderson loses 1 spot now. He's got Vitolo Garcia, which is the next man behind him at the moment. And let's see, late on the brakes for Vitolo Garcia into turn 1. And he's not going to be able to get through just yet. As look at the leaders now, Francesco Ferroni and Arthur Fry going at it for this race win. That was kind of unexpected, considering the early part of this race. Now look at this, Anderson, he's going to have to look at the grass for Vitolo Garcia up the inside. Anderson hangs it around the outside though, brave stuff from the Swede, and he somehow manages to hang on. But now you've got the Greek driver, Stratos Kavakidis, wants a piece of the action too.
Yeah, and we know Stratos is quick. He showed really strong pace in the opening round at Road America. So we're right on board now here with Stratos, really putting some hard pressure now on Vitolo Garcia. Through they go, this amazing section here, Salmon Park, bang, oh, hopefully not bang, into the wall there, and then McPhilmy Park, and here comes Skyline. Why? Well, look ahead, you just look like you're going off the edge of a cliff, down the dipper, you lose the bottom of your stomach here, whoa, down we go, and then all the way down towards Forest Elbow with the Falcon Tire sponsorship. Always, you can see that there. Back down a couple of gears and then tuck it in and then back on the power down the Conrod straight. Fantastic stuff. And look at this, side by side for the lead. Fioroni versus Fry. Fioroni in the 118 car, Fry in the number 9, and Fry just blasts past Fioroni there. Now that is curious. Has Fry got an even more dragster setup than Fioroni does?
Certainly looks like it. Through the chase they go as well. Vitolo Garcia gets in front of Victor Anderson as well, so Anderson is losing spots right now, but he's not really expected to hold on to them. He's a Pro-Am driver, so he's mixing it up with the very best at the moment, but he's got to be careful he doesn't fall too far back, because Jones is not too far off the back as he's coming back. Garcia squeezes him to the wall as they come down towards Hell Corner for the 7th time. But is he going to give up the position? Yes, he is going to give up the position, but you can see how much time it's cost him, because the man behind Stratos Kavakidis is the other Pro-Am driver of Jones, and Stratos is going to make the move now as well. But we have a battle for the lead in Pro-Am now as well. Look at Anderson and Jones together on track again.
Yep, this is changed all of a sudden. You see Jones there just at the back of shot in the Fuga Simsport car, that orange machine. I like the Volkswagen logo on the front of the nose as well. You see some of the cars with a Mercedes logo and some with a Volkswagen logo as well. That's a good point. I wonder what the spec engine is for the iRacing Dallara F3.
That I have.
Okay. Medic engine. Ah, there we go.
Ah, yeah. I guess no manufacturer wanted the engine to part of the car. Obviously, probably would have cost a little bit more money to get a license for an engine, but Yeah, pretty interesting though that they didn't manage to get a license for it. Oh, there goes Is that Jones? It's Jones.
He's got two wheels left on his wagon, and Kirkcaldy, I wonder, there's a story there. There is a story there, Ever the journalist. So let's see what happens. I wonder if Jones. I think it's going to be a roadblock at Forest Elbow here. Oh, just loses it on the brakes. Here and here. And does Fioroni follow him in? Makes a similar error, but I think maybe just keeps it out the barrier, possibly. Jeepers. Oh my word. Vitolo Garcia just selling the dummy down the pit lane, dropping it up the inside of Corona. This is like Mario Kart. This is fantastic. As you see, Stratos Kilakitsis now goes around. Victor Anderson thought, I'll have some of that as well. Sammy Venables now, he is in second in AM, 9th overall. There he is, just coming out of Hell Corner. But Victor Anderson's got a pretty comfortable lead of a good few seconds now, about 4 seconds from Sammy Venables, but he's still, I don't think the AM Class Championship is really in Victor Anderson's thinking. I think he just wants to just go for the win.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it, but it should be worth noting that Sammy Venables is his championship rival, so he can't afford to fight too much, and then he's going to end up battling with Sammy Venables as Daniel Cranefuss gets into that magnet wall up the top of the mountain. But yeah, that accident for Jones, it was a little bit unlucky because he managed to actually save the car, but he went into the end of the tyre wall at which cost him time. Now look at Kirkcaldy, he's under pressure from Brett Punkari and Keys Drost, who are now right on his tails. Kirkcaldy obviously carrying damage from the time he went into the wall at Forest Elbow. So now Brett Punkari and the Jordan Peugeot trying to make his way through past him, but yeah, an interesting race, or certainly a race of attrition. And Arthur Fry, who is clear out front now, he's got 1.1 seconds ahead of Fioroni. On board now with Aleix Alcaraz making a good recovery, actually.
Very strong recovery, and we know how quick he is. This could be key for the championship. Oh my word. Straight through the middle of Hans Verheij there as well, or is it Keys Drost? Oh, it's Verheij's teammate. Oh, gee whiz. This is extraordinary. As you see, Aleix Alcaraz round the outside of Kirkcaldy at the chase.
A round of applause from me.
Wow, yep, absolutely. My cap is being doffed right now. Wow, that's extraordinary. But Kirkcaldy's not going to let him have it. And Aleix goes, oh, you think so, do you? Oh, okay. And just goes and defends. Wow, so Aleix Alcaraz up to 11th. How many spots can he get? He's only got, just about 3.5 minutes to go. The next car up is Kettleman, nearly 4 seconds up the road. So it's going to be a big ask for Aleix Alcaraz, but who knows what could happen in front of him.
That was a triple overtake in one corner from Aleix Alcaraz, through the middle of two cars and round the outside of the chase. That's incredible, and he's going to gain a chunk of points because Ralph Hyman is actually disconnected from the session, so he's not even going to score any points. So if Aleix just brings it to the finish, it'll be a bonus for him. As Stratos Kilakitsis looking on board from his rear wing, looking back at Victor Anderson briefly there, as we go back to Kirkcaldy, Cranefuss, Drost and Punkari, who are just overtaken by Aleix Alcaraz. Daniel Cranefuss trying to get past Kirkcaldy here. Kirkcady's wide, very nearly hits the wall on the top of the hill, dropping down. And through they go again. He gets a little out of shape. Cranefuss looks to the inside of the... Oh, that's McPhillamy. No way through there for the American driver. Certainly points for bravery, but as they come through the dipper then, still no way through for Daniel just yet. And I think we could be close to getting the white flag. Yeah, we're going to get the white flag this lap, as far as I can see. And Arthur Fry, I predicted second for him, but he might be able to go one better, which would be something for the books, as Kirkcaldy has now fallen back behind Brett Punkari, but he's going to try and come back at him here to head to the chase.
Yep, so white flag is in the air. So 1 lap to go here when we go over the stripe here at Bathurst. And I have to say, this is fantastic from Arthur Fry. Real redemption after he getting nerfed into the wall at Interlagos last time out. We got crumpled. Lucky for Toby Ward. Just came onto the scene and Now, who was that on? I think Damien McMullen. I
Damien
think?
McMullen.
Yeah, who was just unfortunately thrown across the.
Who just got it wrong.
Got it onto the. Did he get a help from Lockie Brown?
He got hit.
I think he got bumped by Lockie Brown.
Yes, he did. He got a tap in the rear from. Yeah, he definitely did. It's unfortunate for Damien, and he's still trying to just get out of the way before he can tow back the pit lane. So that's unfortunate for Damien. No fault of his own, but Toby Ward is trying to limp the car around with no front wing on to the finish. So he is going to get to the end, nonetheless. But yeah, Arthur Fry, like I said earlier, he's redemption of the best kind for the Brit. I predicted a cheeky second place for him, but he's definitely impressed and gone one better as long as he keeps it together through the chase. And we'll have a new winner to add to the roster, which is always what we like to see as he comes down through the chase for the final time under severe pressure for Francesco Fioroni. Race as well in the Squadron Corsa car through the chase for the last time, keeps it nice and clean and tidy. Does the Brit over the curves, and the slowdown penalty for Fioroni as well helps him out in the background too. Down to the last corner, through Murray's for the last time. Arthur Fry, spectacular. He wins in Bathurst for round number 4 of the Apex Racing Academy VRS Super Series. And Fioroni, he holds on for second versus Barcelona. Modoff in 4th. Then it'll be Garcia, Karuna, Kilakitis, and once again another win to add to this man's tally. Victor Anderson takes the win in the Pro-Am class, Semi Venables in P2, and Aleix Alcaraz recovers to 10th after that earlier incident. And look at this to the line between Daniel Schuring, Brett Funkari, and Derek Holland. It's going to be very tight as they run for the line between the two of them, but it's going to be Schuring, Funkari, and Holland who go through it right there. But that's a great recovery from Aleix Alcaraz to finish in the top 10 after that incident earlier on. But Arthur Fry is brilliant.
Yeah, that could be critical for the championship for Aleix Alcaraz. That tenacity to not give up, come in, get the fast repair, and get back out onto the circuit. David Holland, well, a story of what maybe could have been for him as well. But yeah, what a day here at Bathurst. We knew it was going to be a battle of attrition, but absolutely delighted for Arthur Fry. He was so unlucky 1 week ago, and he takes the win here today at Bathurst. And super unlucky, how could we forget Christophe Herbigno, who comes home in 22nd position, and really he did not deserve that at all. He was very much the innocent victim of Royal Hyman's accident, and another story of what could have been for the Belgian Bullet. We know how quick he is, and we have Toby Ward with a brand new wing on after he went in for his fast repair, didn't get him to the end. Nice shiny car there to finish off his day. So, a big shake-up for the championship then today, and that'll bring a few drivers a little bit closer. But let's have a look at the final results of this race here at Mount Panorama. So Arthur Fry wins by 5.8 seconds from Francesco Fioroni, with Marx Bartolotta putting 2 Italians on the podium. Carl Modoff finishes in 4th, with Vitolo Garcia 5th, Matt Crona 6th, and Stratos Kirlikits 7th. Victor Anderson takes another class victory, with Sammy Venables joining him in the top 10 overall and 2nd in class. Very impressive indeed from the Briton. Aleix Alcaraz, again, fantastic recovery to get over in 10th place. Kevin Kittelman was 11th. Daniel Cranefuss was 12th, with Kez Dross 13th, Vincenzo Carcetti 14th, followed by Dan Schuring, Brett Pancari, Derek Holland, Waldemar Cardea. In 19th was David Holland, with John Gordon 20th, Lockie Brown 21st, Christophe Herbigno 22nd, and finally Toby Ward, Richard Holding, Damien McMullen, Stephen Brown, Mark Jones, and Vince Harley, rounding out your finishers. So, let's see, Jack, do we have anyone to come in to chat to us? We do not. So, well, while we're waiting
The answer is no.
the answer is no. Yes, Jack, your thoughts on on our day here at Mount Panorama Circuit?
Well, I said before the broadcast it was going to be one for the books, and it certainly was. We had all of our championship leaders basically wiped out on the first lap in the feature, and great recovery from Alish Alcaraz to get back inside the top 10 after his own separate incident. But it's fantastic to see a new name at the top step, and Arthur Fry just basically kept his nose clean the whole way through and came through to take the win. And yeah, it's a fantastic day for him, of course. So hopefully we get to chat to him, or if anybody's going to chat to us, I don't know, because I can't see anybody joining us. But it's I think a lot of drivers will be happy to see the back of Bathurst. As much as we enjoyed it, I don't think many of the drivers actually enjoyed it too much.
I'm sure they enjoyed it in practice where there was no consequences for crashing, because it is a wonderful circuit when you get it right. But yes, very much a survival battle today, and the drivers all will be happy, to, like you say, to have it behind them and head to the last 2 rounds of this Apex Racing Academy F3 VRS Super Series. That's all we've got time for today on Apex Racing TV. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. If you want to find out more about the Apex Racing Academy, you can via www.apexracingac.com. And also don't forget to check out our wonderful sponsors, the Virtual Racing School, for help with setups and coaching as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.